Hey, welcome to the Team Huddle. It's May 4th, Monday, May 4th, and we're going to be doing Team Huddle every Monday night at the same time, 7 Pacific, 8 Mountain, whatever,
9
know your time
Central,
zone.
10 Eastern.
Yes, there you go. So sorry about East Coast. It's probably pretty late for you guys. But we just thought it'd be really helpful for not only for people playing in the games, but just like any clients who want to hop on, or if anyone has family and friends who just want some extra support with their health, tell them to hop on the Team Huddle. Like, it's totally fine. Pass on the link to people who are interested in having more support. So I'm Amber, and this is my husband, Jared, and we are certified health coaches with Take Shape for Life. And we've been coaching for about 6 years now. And I personally lost 35 pounds. I've kept it off for over a decade. But the big thing for me was that I lowered my cholesterol over 60 points and raised my energy a ton. So that was really important to me. I hate even saying this, but I didn't even really care that I was overweight. I was like, yeah, whatever, you got kids, you get overweight, you know. But it was really the cholesterol thing. When I saw that my health was really being affected by my weight, I knew that I wanted to get healthy. So that's what really spurred me on.
And I lost 50 pounds. My first 25 I did going back to what I knew best. I played all kinds of sports, played 15 years of competitive basketball, and that only got me so far. I got down to about 200 at the highest. I was about 230, and I was just stuck. And a horrible thing happened to me. I started to hate exercise. And I always loved exercise. It was kind of part of my identity and stuff.
None of us hate exercise, right? No.
Well, it was a big deal for me because I loved it, and all of a sudden I hated it because it wasn't doing what I was the purpose of it at that time. I always just did it for fun, but now it became a form of weight loss, and it wasn't working. And then Amber's mom introduced us to Take Shape for Life, and my first 25 pounds came off in 15 months. My last 25 pounds came off in 5 weeks. So
results not typical.
Results not typical, but kind of they are. But I was kind of similar to Amber. I didn't have super high cholesterol, a little over 200s, risk factor, yeah. But my blood pressure was about 128 over 112. And now my blood pressure is 102 over 62. So I don't get those fainting spells or the sugar shakes where I got to sit back down because I feel like junk. But I feel like my brain age, which is probably 14. So
I can attest to that. No. So the theme of this call, it was, let's see, I sent it an email. It was why people make goals and then don't stick to them, and how to break through. So raise your hand if you've ever made a goal and you didn't stick to it. Okay, I was just making sure that I wasn't the only one. So there's a lot of factors that go into how many Americans make New Year's resolution goals and then it's out the window like by January 7th, right? It's like you gave it a good week, the old college try, and then it's like, yeah, forget about it. So, why is that? Why do people make goals and then don't stick to it? So that's the question that we want to talk about a little bit tonight on the huddle. So one factor that I want to talk about is kind of our self-talk. Like, my mentor, Kim, calls it the chatter. It's like, you have this person who's talking, and then you got this person in your head who talks back to you, right? And tells you, like, you don't want to lose weight, then you can't eat cheesecake at grandma's birthday party, and people think you're weird, and, oh, you're going to miss all that food, and, whatever it is that your chatter says to you, it's going to try really hard to derail you from your goals. The really, what am I trying to say? The goal of a certain part of your brain is literally to keep you in the status quo. It does not want you to change, because change is danger and change is bad, according to the limbic part of your brain. And it'll do anything, it'll say anything, it'll give you whatever chatter, and it talks in your own voice.
The movies portray it as the devil and the angel, but it's really you on both sides. It's not a devil and angel. It's just you. It's just the different parts of your brain.
Well, and the funny thing is it's not necessarily even bad. That your brain, it helps you. I mean, do you ever drive home from work and you don't remember, you just like showed up at your house. You're like, oh my gosh, how did I even get here? Raise your hand if you've ever done that. I do it all the time. I'm like, whoa, what just happened to the last half an hour, right? And so really habits that you have in your life, it keeps you alive. If you had to constantly make decisions every day of your life, then your brain would overload. It can't handle all that new information. It can't handle so many decisions, so much change. So it actually keeps you alive, that part of your brain that tells you to stay in the status quo, stay with your habits, do what you've been doing. Don't look left and right, just do what you're doing. So anytime you want to make change, usually goals involve change, right? Then it says danger and bad and fear. So the first part of that is to hear that chatter and just kind of listen to it and go, oh, that's that part of my brain that keeps me alive. It wants to keep me in the status quo. It wants to, make sure that I eat lots of food so I don't starve to death, and that I run away from dangerous things like tigers, and that I have sex so that we procreate the earth, right? It keeps our society going, right? So that's what that part of your brain tells you to do. And it keeps you, it's good. So when you hear that chatter, go, oh, thank you, brain. You're keeping me alive. That's awesome that you're doing that, but I don't need you right now. I'm not starving to death, and the earth is plenty of people, and there isn't any tigers in my living room, so we're good, So I want to open it up. So I want you kind of, whoever's willing to share with us some of your chatter. Like, what's some things that your brain starts saying when you make a goal? Anybody?
Some of your tigers.
Your tigers?
What's chasing you?
Yep. Anybody want to share? Just unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself.
Or wave your hands and I'll do it.
Okay, Julie, go.
Okay, so one of my things that often chatters at me is, you know what, you've failed before. If you try, you're just gonna fail again. So, and it's like a fear. You get kind of an adrenaline rush. So that's one of my chatters all the time. You failed before. It's the same thing. You're trying to do the same thing again. You're gonna fail again.
That's a good one. Raise your hand if you've ever had that one. Yeah, I think that's an awesome one, Julie. Mike, I think you were going next.
Mine's actually just the opposite. It's that fear of success, and it's difficult. You're like, well, I know I can do this, but how's it going to change me? What's going to happen when I do it, and where am I going to be?
Yeah,
that's a great question. It's what does that mean? Mm-hmm. What does it mean if I succeed? Yep. Does it mean that I am going to lose out on something that I've enjoyed in the past, or I'm going to have to completely alter my life? What am I? The fear of missing out is greater than the fear of what there is to gain most of the time. So oftentimes that fear of success has a lot more to do with the fear of missing out on something that you still like, mm-hmm. that you're holding on to, and you're not sure if you're just ready to completely give that up.
Oh my gosh, it's Easter and Peeps are only in the store once a year. What's gonna happen, right? That's a good one, Mike. Okay, who else? Who else has a chatter they want to tell?
Hey, I just wanted to let you know that there's Lehigh gas station that has Cadbury eggs year round.
Whoa! See,
for anyone,
game changer.
Just say
don't, Kat, do not put that address out there. No one needs Cadbury eggs year round. Easter is enough.
It's true, but I am kidding.
Okay, who has a chatter? Like, what's something that tells you, stay in your status quo, don't change? We'll take one more.
I'll go if no one else.
Okay, go ahead, Lacey.
My biggest thing in the beginning was, if I don't eat what somebody has made and offered me, I'm going to offend them. That was really hard for me.
Good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. How many of you? I think we have a few that are just clients and they're not participating in the games. But how many of you are in the May games?
I think everybody.
Oh, everybody. So there's going to be an awesome video about this month by Sarah Flake. But I'll just give you one thing that she offers to flip around. So you have someone come and ask you, like, oh, do you want some of this? And you can say, nope, I already had some, or nope, I'm going to get some later. But little do they know that you ate some 6 months ago, or you're planning on eating some 6 months from now. You don't have to have it at that party if it's not serving you in the place that you're at right now. So if you're in the weight loss phase, and that is your goal, and you really want to get to the healthy weight, there's a place for Cadbury eggs and Peeps. In the future, when you're at that healthy weight, when weight loss isn't your goal, now your goal is just to maintain, and it's okay to have those treats now and again, as long as they fit into a moderate, healthy eating plan. So just a little something like, and honestly, people aren't really thinking about you, they're thinking about themselves. So when you say, oh, no, thanks, and you just kind of go on and you talk about something else, people, they aren't really even concerned about you. They're concerned about themselves.
Yeah, and I always like to make this point. Like, if you're on Brady Bunch view right now, where you can see a bunch of people, just, are you looking at yourself right now, or are you looking at someone else?
Busted.
Totally busted.
Yeah, there goes Mike.
Like, oh, my hair. It's like a Pantene commercial. No. Okay, so we've kind of heard some of our chatter that go. Mike, I love you. We've heard some of our chatter, and so you have to hear that for what it is. That's the part of your brain keeping you alive. That's the part of your brain wanting you to stay in your status quo. It's a good thing. It's not bad. But hearing it for what it is and going, thank you for trying to keep me alive. I'm good. Not fighting it like, oh, devil, get off my shoulder. Nothing like that, because then it's going to fight back more. Oh no, she's fighting me. Oh, I gotta, put on my extra armor and sword and fight back. But just like, hey, thanks, I'm good. So after that, then what you want to do is really surround yourself with a microenvironment of health. Dr. A calls it, and he talks about it in the Habits of Health book. Just really doing everything that you can to really set yourself up for success. Do you have cookies and candy like out in jars on your counter every day? And you're going, I gotta not eat those, and ooh, I'm just gonna white knuckle it and have my willpower, and or are you getting the junk out of the house and filling it up with good, healthy, vegetables and lean meats and the things that are really gonna set you up for success? So that's one tip that I have. Who else has another tip for creating a microenvironment of health?
I'll do one. For me, I love the team atmosphere and having, knowing I'm never alone in what I'm doing. And I like the idea of asking for the support I need, like friends, family, whoever I'm with. Hey, you guys, I'm super excited about what I'm doing. I'm trying to get healthy. And I've seen this with some of my own clients that I see, people who I see on a daily basis, that when we all get together and we're talking about eating healthy and we're talking about our goals and stuff, it's like, somebody brings cupcakes to volleyball one day and it's like somebody else goes, wait, I thought you were on 5-1, and it's just kind of this whole like support environment. And it's not, like even my kids will go, Mom, but that's not healthy. Are you okay to eat? Is that okay to eat that? And, we have talks and figure it out. Like, yeah, once in a while, Mom is maintaining her weight. She's not losing weight anymore. And it's a good learning environment for people to just ask for that support. And it's hard sometimes to ask for support, especially like when you guys were talking about earlier, going to an event and feeling like you're going to offend somebody. To say, maybe you're friends with the host and say, hey, I'm really doing great on my program and I feel so good. Can you help me while we're there to make sure that I don't flub up? It's hard to ask sometimes, but it's really powerful if everybody wants to help you. people want to help each other generally, you know?
Yeah, I think it's, Amber did a great video and posted it in some of our client Facebook groups last week called Life is Clay. And so we're just molding ourselves. And an artist doesn't look at the clay and say, oh, it's broken. It's just a lump of crap or something like that. It's a medium that they're using to sculpt and to make into what they see in their mind that isn't an outward projection yet. I also like the analogy of light and darkness. Darkness, there is no element of darkness. Darkness is simply the absence of light. So you don't fix darkness by getting rid of the darkness. You get rid of the darkness by filling that space with light. And I think that what Kat was saying about a team and having support around you is like filling your world with light. You find that support network. You find your health coach. You dive in and really participate in the games and read your Habits of Health books and all the resources you can get your hands on that will help you drive towards your goal. Those are filling that darkness with light, and then the darkness is gone. You're not fixing yourself. You're not broken. You're just you're just in the process right now, and the obstacle is the way.
I love that. Who else has some ideas? Just the last couple ideas on making a microenvironment of health.
I'll go. This is kind of a little bit different way of looking at it, but since I've been a part of Take Shape for Life and I've changed the habits in my home, I've seen a huge change in my children. And like Kat had said, they'll mention, is that healthy? And I just think me doing that for them is creating that environment. It's going to be so much easier for them to make healthy choices along the way so that it's not near as hard as it was for me to create new healthy habits in my life. So just me being a part of that environment for my kids is huge.
Good. So being that support to someone else, basically, paying it forward. I love that, Lacey.
I love that you said that, Lacey. My 3-year-old, we were walking out of Costco today, and he pointed at the picture of the hot dog, and he goes, "Hot dog's yucky." He doesn't know anything else. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, my kids think that like McDonald's is like poison. They're like, ew, McDonald's is so gross, and they like how they read there, but it's so funny.
My kids call it McNasties.
I love that. That's so cute. McNasties. Oh, awesome. Okay, what about like planning ahead? I think that's a huge one of just like, I think, who was talking about the parties before? I mean, Jared was, but before that, that was Lacey, that really like going, okay, let's be very mindful of what's coming up, like what's coming up tomorrow, what's coming up next hour, what's coming up later this evening, this weekend, and just really like playing it out in your head going, yeah, I have a family dinner this Saturday and my family is probably going to have pizza and hot dogs. So what should I do? I can bring a salad with chicken and contribute that to it. And I don't have to make a big deal of it, make anyone feel bad, but just really, planning ahead, making sure that you have grab and go snacks that you have with you when you leave the house, right? And not going, oh my gosh, I went to the bank that should have taken 10 minutes and I was gone for 5 hours and I didn't have anything to eat, so that sort of thing. I love that. So one last thing that I wanted to go over, and our time is about up, is really creating a vision of what you want to accomplish. And Jared touched on this when he talked about the clay and molding it how you want. I would put forth that, everyone on this call, everyone listening back, you are all perfect right now. No matter what stage that you're in, you're perfect. You're awesome. You're ready. And just because you want to make changes and make goals and make something better doesn't mean you're not perfect now. It just means that you're going to enjoy this creative process and that you are going to love it, love the process, love yourself while you're molding yourself. but it's basically just creating a vision of what you want and then doing it because you're an artist, you know, achieving whatever those goals are that you have. So make a vision, put it down on paper, write out or do a vision board or pictures or whatever inspires you. Put it on your cell phone, on the, you know, the front, whatever this is called. I don't know.
Wallpaper.
Wallpaper. Put it on your wallpaper, put it on your computer, put it on your fridge, wherever that you're going to see it. And really in a positive way, not I don't want to be fat, but I want to be healthy. I want to have energy. I want to be in a healthy weight. I want, you know, create what you want. Don't run away from what you don't want, basically. So those are just a couple of tips. And I hope you guys got something out of the huddle tonight. We're going to do it again next Monday, same time, 7 Pacific, 8 Mountain, and same number. So thanks for being on, you guys.
Have a great week.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Thanks.